Welcome to Fear No Evil, where the evil I speak about is child sexual abuse, where Psalms 23 is the foundational scripture, and where the Lord, or Yeshua, is my shepherd at all times. Now, I just want to finish the studies on the chromosome studies. Now, it has ended with Bailey. Now, Bailey and his colleagues examined 409 pairs of gay siblings. However, only 38 pairs of the gay brothers had chromosomes or shared similar chromosomes and they were homosexual. Okay, so 409 pairs and you only end up with 38 pairs. This was one of the criticisms of the study. They felt that 39, other scientists felt that 38 pairs was not enough to substantiate evidence that there is a gene for homosexuality. However, if you speak to people, they will insist that these studies are valid. Now, I have gone over 3 or 4 of these studies so far, and not one has been able to find a one specific gene that would say that someone was born gay. Now, if you take 10 African American or Black American people and test their DNA, you're going to come up with black every single time. 100%. But when it comes with homosexuality, we seem to think it's okay that we have these discrepancies in science. Well, it's not okay. And the reason why it's not okay is because when people are being sexually abused, they're going to go through a lot of emotions, a lot of questions. They're going to go through a whole range of things. And it is not ethical. It is not moral. Although it is legal to tell a 5-year-old who's being sexually abused that they might be gay. That we indoctrinate the children now. You have 12-year-olds totally confused on what gender they may be. Now you add child sexual abuse and all this mess, we're losing a lot of kids and we will lose a lot of adults. And that's why I speak out on this. Now, these genetic linkage studies have been replaced, and they have been replaced by studies that are called, I got to find the name, genome-wide association studies. Now, it's been a while since I've looked at those studies, but the last time I looked at those studies, they too will not confirm a homosexual gene. So I'm going to go over those studies before I get to the hormone studies, because I want to refresh myself on what the genome-wide association studies found before I go to the hormone studies. Now, I really wish I could just whip through all of this, but it is impossible. And the fact that this research is so messed up, leaving out so much information, although scientists want to stand by it and not allow any other studies to come to the table, again, is unethical and it is not moral for those who have been sexually abused and for those who are being sexually abused now. Now, just because I'm a Christian, I love how people love to come at me on the Christianity side. I can make this argument whether I'm a Christian or not, because sexual abuse happens to Christians and non-Christians. So if you want to go with the Christian argument, I can go there too. But I prefer to stay with the child sexual abuse argument because when you look at the studies, the connection kind of becomes kind of clear if you understand child sexual abuse. Now, I believe that people do understand and know what the connection is, but they're keeping it silent. And by YouTube taking down a whole bunch of videos as well, they're keeping survivors silent. And the last thing that anyone should even try to do is keep a former survivor or a current survivor silent. Silence is what kills child sexual abuse survivors. Many reasons probably why they commit suicide. That silence can be very, very deadly. And the fact that people who have been sexually abused are perpetrating this silence on other sexual abuse survivors, to me, my opinion, makes them no better than the perpetrator who also perpetuates that silence onto their victims. And some people die never ever telling anyone that they were sexually abused. And even though it's being talked about in the media, it's not really being talked about in the media. They're just giving you what they always give you: famous coaches, Catholic priests. Well, when 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are being sexually abused in America, that includes a whole lot more people than Catholic priests and famous coaches. So it is important to go over these studies. And I'm not saying this because I have no hate toward the LGBT. What I don't like that what they're doing is lying. Lying to the public, putting out science, and furthering more harm to child sexual abuse survivors. And they are the last people who need other people to inflict more harm onto them.